Hey, what's up? It's Tony from Street Church Ministries, and welcome to the Inside Job podcast. Hey, this is our last week of a really short series that we have called Be Bothered. Be Bothered. Hey, listen, if we're not bothered by the pain and by the trouble and suffering of those around us, then we need to start being bothered by it on an emotional level, right? So we've been doing inner city ministry in Trenton for many, many years. And if there's one thing I have learned, it is this. The biggest enemy, the biggest obstacle to making an impact on somebody's life who is eating a sandwich that you would never want to take a bite of, it's not knowing enough. It's not that we have not earned that we have not earned enough degrees. It's not that you have not attended enough Bible studies or church services. The biggest enemy and obstacle to making an impact on somebody's life who is going through it is indifference. It's when we become so detached because we become so self-consumed and concerned in our own little worlds that we become indifferent to the pain and suffering of those around us, and where we just simply stop caring. Jesus was a lot of things. He is a lot of things. He always will be a lot of things. But if there's one thing that he was not indifferent. If there's one thing that the cross teaches us about human suffering, it might not tell us what the reason is for human suffering, but it does tell us what it can't be. It can't be that God is indifferent or detached or, aloof, because he entered into human suffering on the cross. And Jesus was and is and always will be our, example. And he allowed himself to go to some tough places emotionally, to weep and to cry and to grieve, knowing that when we allow ourselves to enter into people's grief and to feel what they feel and to go to some difficult places emotionally, that acts as a spring form that will platform us into actually doing something in a tangible, practical way that'll make an impact on their lives in the middle of a really tough situation. So Luke chapter 19. It's the end of Jesus' life. He's days away from being crucified. He walks into Jerusalem. He overlooks the city, and this is what he says. As he approached Jerusalem, he saw the city, and he wept over it and said, "If you, even you, had only known on this day what would bring you peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes." Wow. So he walks into Jerusalem. He stops. He sees the entire city, and he starts weeping like a baby. Why? He may have been looking down and thinking and wondering and, thinking to himself, I created you for so much more. I created you for so much more. And all I see is suffering and hurt and heartache and pain and lives lived that were not the way I intended them to live. I see all of these things that shouldn't be. All of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the suffering, all of the people who have never lived the life I created them for. And he started weeping over it all. And then he says, "Oh, if you had only known who I was, if you were only known the difference that I could and wanted to make in your life. But now it's too late," he says. But now it's too late. I'll lay a truth bomb on you guys. We see many people, and we reach out to many people who are going through it, who are suffering, who are hurting, who are causing the suffering of other people because of their bad decisions, right? And we offer them hope, and we offer them help, in all different kinds of ways. And the longer a person turns away from the light, the more closed off and calloused and harder their heart actually becomes. And this is what Jesus is kind of saying. And before it made him angry, he cried like a baby. He was sad, and he started to weep over all of the lives that people were living that they were never supposed to live. All the pain, all the hurt, all the suffering, all the trouble, all of the horrible consequences to bad decisions. And he started weeping. It touched him, and it broke him. And it needs to touch us. It needs to break us. We need to get emotionally invested into the hurt and suffering of those around us, knowing that when and if we do, it'll act as a springboard that will platform us into wanting to do something in a tangible way to impact people's lives who are going through it. One for the road, something to put in your back pocket. The greatest enemy to making an impact on somebody's life who is suffering is indifference. It always was and always will be. Sorry I couldn't end on a more happy note, but it kind of is what it is, right? So be bothered. Be bothered. I have something planned for you guys. It's going to be a longer series. I think it's going to be a 4-week series. It's going to be real practical, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hope to see you guys then. Until then, have a great day. Bye.